Hello there guys, and welcome back to Titan Quest Let's Play of the Epic Edition. So this is where we stopped last time, this Kairatos's Bluff. If you remember, we fought Leucus, the undead tyrant. Right, so I've cleaned up my inventory a little bit, so I got some free space. And in this episode we're going to be fighting Talos. Talos, the Master Automaton. So you need fire, lightning and stun resistances mostly. Stun we already have sorted out. Lightning isn't too big of a deal because that attack can be easily avoided, so that leaves fire. Fire should be your top priority. So I went to the merchants and bought a few things here, this ring, see, which gives us a bit of fire resistance. Unfortunately we are losing stun this way, but right, so it would be nice to add, I might add this Demon's Blood on there, whatever we've got there, since we don't want to lose too much stun resistance. Now this 13% fire resistance won't be enough, so that's why I bought this helmet also, which has some more fire resistance. And I also got this Domain of Dragon Kings from normal difficulty, which I'll add onto this helmet. Now when we try, so you got 22, 24, when we try 59%, now that should suffice for the battle with Talos. We are unfortunately losing a lot of offensive and defensive ability, our DPS, losing a lot of offensive potential, but we have to be prepared, you know. What good is our offensive gonna do if we can't even survive? Alright, so for now I'll unequip everything and we're just gonna go and, you know, before we get there. Alright, so we're just crossing this small bridge here. This is the last rebirth fountain before Talos. And there's a merchant here as well. So it's worth take a look what he's got. Stock up on a few more potions. Alright. There are gonna be plenty of enemies in the Knossos Palace, of course. There'll be automatons, and I mean the regular enemies aren't exactly a pushover either. Alright, so this is the entrance. The Knossos Palace. Got a few undead to start off with, and a bit deeper in we'll fight the automatons. And as I'm sure you already know, Talos himself, he only appears on epic difficulty, so you don't really usually see him on normal. Something I wanted to talk about as well. My last 3 videos, I noticed I had somebody give it a thumbs down, somebody give it a dislike, literally like within the first few hours of me uploading them. And here we got Monster Hero, Frostmarrow. Yeah, so somebody has been giving a thumbs down and been silent about it. So I just want to know, you know, I want to ask you, yes you know who you are, who's been giving me thumbs down. I want to find out why you're doing this, you know. Could you at least tell me what is it that you don't like about my videos? It would be nice to know. Alright, so Frostmarrow is down. That was one of the undead monster heroes with powers of ice. If we get there. Oh, Veiler of Achilles. Now we already had one piece over here. There we go. Let's see what else we've got. Automatons. And guess who? Got one of their monster heroes. Hesperos the Flameforged. So that's one of their monster heroes. He's just mostly... He could be a fairly hard enemy, but mostly he just like regular automatons, except he just has more health, really. And he can spin his arm like that. See, like this. And when you destroy him, he releases those fireballs. Yeah, nothing too much to sweat over. But, you know, monster hero is still best to be careful. And here we've got yet another monster hero, Cinderbone, which is a undead hero with the powers of fire. He had that ring of flame around him until I've dispelled it. There we go, it wasn't too bad. It went down pretty fast. What do we have here? Robust ornamented leggings. Now that is a nice bonus, robust, so it's strength and health percentage bonus. Unfortunately we're losing quite a lot, yeah, especially on offensive and defensive abilities, so no, I don't think I'm gonna make that exchange, even though those are nice greaves. That bonus is pretty nice. And over here you can already hear Talos' footsteps. Can you hear the metal creaking? You can actually go through here and fight him there, but I prefer to go around here on this plateau. clean it all out, of course, first. You gotta take care of all the monsters, and then lure him here on the open ground where it's easier to fight him. And here, yet another monster hero. Yet another one, Roadburn this time. We've got 3 undead heroes and 1 automaton hero. Roadburn. So this one has powers of poison. You see, he just tries to create those clouds of poison on you. There we go. Taking care of him. So just finish clearing out this whole area before we lure Talos in. Alrighty guys, we've cleaned out everything, we're ready. I've bought a few more health potions because, you know, just in case, you know, with enemies like Talos, you can't be caught with your pants down. Right, it's time to equip all the stuff. Let's do this. So put that, and then we put the helmet. Now we've got 59% fires. Now we can survive his fire attack. That fire attack is really hard to avoid because he literally just sprays it everywhere. Now I'm just looking here what else to put onto that ring to give us an edge in battle. Looking through my completed relics from normal difficulty. Not everything can be enchanted on jewelry, unfortunately. So yeah, I eventually decided to just stick with this single piece of epic demon's blood because we have lost a lot of stun resistance, and if we can get it up to 32% at least, then we should be doing fine. Now, as you go here, he's gonna be among enemies, and damn, look at that. It's got Cadmus the Golem King as well. He's got that another automaton hero there. So yeah, don't lure anyone else. He actually spots you from really far away. He has a much better line of sight than the others, so he will see you before the others do. So just get his attention, bring him here. He likes to use his fire attack at long range. That's the first thing he does. Alright, but with our 59% fires, let's see if we can just about survive it. Now imagine what would have been happening if we only had 13% fire resistance, or a negative value. We'd be dead in seconds. So this is why you need fire resistance. 59% is acceptable. So if you can get higher, it's even better. See, with 59% we can just about survive. Right, go into Colossus form. This should give us a bit of an edge. As you also notice, he also does that lightning stump attack, which is extremely easy to avoid because he telegraphs it from a mile away. See, he lifts his foot up for a second and you can escape, and the area is pretty small as well, so you can escape it easily. See, he usually does them in a sequence as well. You can often tell when he's about to do it. See, he will either do the fire or he will do that. See, he does that, then he'll hit you a couple of times, or he does fire if you're far away. So he mostly has 4 attacks: fire, then that lightning stump, and 2 types of hits. One which is just like a whip kind of slash, and another one is more like a jab. But what you need to know is that the melee attacks can stun you easily. See, he stuns me there. That's why you need some stun resistance. 80% is ideal. So, you know, just don't have 0. We're having 32%. We're just about struggling a little bit. Yeah, see, it's quite repetitive because he does have a lot of health. You know, we did have to sacrifice a lot of our offensive potential to be able to survive him. He is a tough boss. I mean, there's a reason why he only appears on epic and legendary. He doesn't appear on normal because he's a hard boss. He's like a surprise, you know, catch players off guard. You know, he's quite far away from the last rebirth fountain, if you remember where it was. It was before the entrance to the Knossos Palace, and this is like right deep into it. So if you die, you'll have a long walk. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You don't want to end up low in health and stunned, and to have your health potion recharging at the time. Now that I think about it, could have probably used one of those scrolls, but I use the scrolls so rarely that I'm not even used to them. Don't even use them much. I always forget I have them. So yeah, just remember, fire resistance is of utmost importance, and stun, you need at least some of it, and lightning only if you want to be on the safe side. But I mean, the number of characters I've gotten past Talos, I've gotten quite a lot of characters past him, and I have never ever had him hit me with that lightning attack. It's so easy to predict. So long as you know, attentive, you should be able to avoid that attack. For the fire one, on the other hand, is really hard to avoid, simply because he just sprays it everywhere. It's not long left now. We are slowly and steadily making progress on his health. See, he's just stump and hit and stump and hit. And in mythology, Talos was this guardian of Crete. He was a huge bronze statue that was guarding the island of Crete. And Jason and the Argonauts, when they arrived there... Is that a star? Yeah, it must be from Rodbone. Yeah, when Jason and the Argonauts arrived on Crete, or was it when they were escaping? I can't remember. But Talos basically kept trying to throw huge rocks at their ship. And eventually they beat him by taking out a nail that was in his heel, which then caused him to bleed to death. Yes, he had this kind of makeshift circulatory system. Alright, so we've beaten him, and that star is there, right by his head. Right, so that was it. That was Talos. It was a pretty intense battle there. Talos Master Automaton. Beaten, no deaths. He didn't kill us at all. Alright, well, let's proceed. So, too bad we can't exploit that weakness that Jason and the Argonauts had exploited by taking out that screw that was in his foot. Alright, so we've changed all our gear back to how it was. Now let's handle Cadmus, the Golden King, and the other automatons. Cadmus is another automaton monster hero, and he uses the powers of storm, if I'm not mistaken. He puts that shield. That was pretty easy. I mean, we've beaten Talos. What are they gonna do? Alright, let's see what he's got here. Majestic chest. Let's take care of these guys so that they don't disturb us whilst we help ourselves to the treasure. Alright, let's open this. Oh, we've got some nice stuff there. It's epic and legendary. So let's pick it up. Veiler of Achilles. Let's just do this first. This is the third piece. I actually didn't expect we'll be able to complete 2 pieces of Veiler of Achilles. Alright, Theogenes' Onslaught and Frostguard. We'll take a look at all this stuff now. Right. Theogenes' Onslaught. That is a legendary axe. We should be able to use it. It's got quite a nice damage potential, some nice bonuses there, offensive ability as well. And gets de-equipped when we try to put it on. I think one of our stats is enabled. Yeah, strength. Oh, 379, 380. We just got... Once we de-equip our current axe, we lose a bit of strength. What about the shield? Yeah, so Theogenes' Onslaught, I definitely want to use that because that's going to help us out a lot. I just need to get another strength point. Maybe once we level up, we've got a short way to go to the next level up. Once we level up, I'll pop a point or 2 in strength and we'll be able to use that axe. Yeah, okay. Now, let's just quickly loot these as well. And let's proceed inside the labyrinth. Minon Labyrinth. Look at that, battle marker. That's gonna help us quite a lot. Because the automatons, they usually have quite a fair bit of health or maybe defense, I don't know. They manage to soak up quite a bit of damage. Now with battle marker you can really make a short work of them. See, it's easy. Okay. It's just the last few before the next rebirth fountain. Just get rid of them all real fast. Go there. Epic mechanical parts. Just get rid of these guys quickly. Alright. So we've got quite a few pieces of mechanical parts here, which drop from the automatons. Alright, and we'll stop around here. I think that's enough fighting for today. I mean, we've beaten Talos. That was a tough boss. So in the next episode we're going to be tackling the Minotaur Lord and hopefully completing this act. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.